Red, as always, wore his uniform shirt and jeans, a ball cap pulled down over his red hair. She smiled warmly at him, welcoming him, though she was very interested in the handsome man she hadn't met yet. "What brings you in today, Red?" Becca knew Red was the gopher of Company 417, always fetching the coffee. She also knew there was a slew of fighters she hadn't met before. Not all of the firemen at the company came into the shop, and a few of them didn't even drink coffee, or so she assumed. "Here for my usual, but I brought help this time. I'm taking an order for all the guys. We want 8 cups of hot cocoa. It's cold today." Red slid his credit card to Becca, and she took it, nodding as she headed towards the register. "So, who's the new guy?" Curious to learn more about this handsome stranger. "Not new." The man's voice was a bit gravelly, like a jazz singer. It was deep and rich. Becca rang in the hot cocos and printed the receipt as Red introduced his friend. "This is Lex Nichols. He's been at Company 417, but he's not really a coffee kind of guy." She feigned a shocked gasp and covered her mouth with one hand as she handed Red his card back. "No coffee? That's blasphemy in here." When he smiled, it nearly took her breath away. Lex combed a hand through his wavy brown hair and focused the full strength of his gaze on her. "I'd be willing to try it for the right person." Lost for words, Becca glanced at Red, who looked a little irritated at the obvious chemistry between her and Lex. She'd gone on a few dates with Red, but it was nothing serious. She wasn't sure yet if she even liked him. 8 cocos? Stacy, one of Becca's coworkers and a dear friend, carried a few drink carriers up and set them on the counter between the register and the pie rack, and then disappeared back into the kitchen area. "I think I'll have a muffin," Lex said, pointing at the glass case to his left. "I want a cranberry granola. Are those good?" He took his wallet out and laid it on the counter after pulling out a few dollars. "They're so good. My grandpa has a cranberry farm where we get all our cranberries from. You'll love it." She caught a half smile on Red's face and returned it as she entered in the order and placed the cash in the register, handing Lex his change. "She's right. The cranberry muffins are amazing." Red's eyes stayed on her as she worked to select the biggest muffin and place it in a brown bag. When she handed it to Lex, she thought she noticed Red's nostrils flare as if he were irritated. Becca felt a twinge of remorse, realizing that Red probably picked up on how she was reacting to the new guy, so she changed the subject. "So, there's a fireman's picnic coming up." She studied Lex as he folded open the bag and reached in, pulling out a pinch of the muffin and popping it in his mouth. Red's face lit up at her comment. "Yeah, every March. I hear you're taking a food truck out there this year." She was glad to see his happy demeanor return. "Yeah, Mom bought a food truck a few months back, and we'll have that out there. I'll be running it one of these days. Fresh coffee and muffins daily." The bell on the door rang, announcing a new customer, and Becca glanced up. The man had a dark ball cap on and was looking down, so she couldn't tell if it was a regular or not. She wiped her hands on a towel laying on the counter and faced Red again. "Well, I'll see you out there then. I have to take this customer, okay?" Red and Lex took the drink carriers with their cocos and left, but Becca was left wondering about the new guy. She hoped Lex would return, if only for a cranberry muffin, sometime when Red wasn't around. She was interested in learning more about him.